let's get right into the first map of Rondo. But that's all to it. So they really got to be very, very careful when they move across these terrains. To get moving across, it's going to be RQ that secures this first one.
And regardless of how it goes, RQ needs to take this fight. Gonna get completely swarmed. You weren't expecting to just really isolate fight. Oh my god, he does get one. Not enough for a trade, so health rate falls. Shouldn't be too problem. It's the first blood finally after so long.
Yeah, really good angles being worked around by these members of RQ. We've got a glimpse of those players being inside of the enemy zone, and that tells them they just really have to miss. Here comes Ganyang, new addition to the list of RQ, as he's going for the chase up against that member MXG, but he's on wheels, so he's going to be able to traverse right across. One member getting knocked down, but going to go in for the revive, but they're charging right through right now, sending two members up top to challenge the duo of RQ. Bring out close and personal, Nepeko holds it down, and it's Riganya drawing the blood out of KTN, and now RQ withers down a little bit, but he's not going to be
to the western side, where a majority teams are rotating in. The possibility for them to have really good areas, high grounds, compound, is going to be high. So teams that are crossing them need to be a little bit more alert on how they want to approach these rotations.
Yeah, true enough. On top of that, like holding some of all these terrains would be very beneficial in the long run. But the problem is that circle's going all the way down southeast. So we've already got EX, Excelsior, and it seems like that member of MXG is holding it down, knocking two more out of RQ. Can he actually flip the situation? They're still in the blue zone. Mikaru's health bar is dropping low, and that
nice.
one tap will secure it.
Not too sure what exactly is the play here for NST. They're holding down the line. They don't really want to push the issue. They're being very cautious right now, marking angles and not really going in alone. And speaking of going in here, Sem9, huge start. Finding BTR is huge for them as they finally clear red phase as well. You have still another member like Federalis alone, knocked down to barely any HP left, but he's managed to bring his teammates back before he goes down. So kudos to him. Speed is the name of the game.
Yeah, speaking of speed, Amazal's charging right through, looking for his target. He's got a glimpse of the back, and just like that, one tap is all it took for Amazal to secure it. 3 back-to-back for the side of Sem9. BTR, not off to a great start, but hey, I think that it's a decent approach coming from BTR. They wanted to look for a fight. They still have one surviving member, so they could still look out for a revive point, which is what Razy is doing to bring his teammates back alive.
Surprised not seeing us about getting that volume in terms of eliminations for this particular map, and I think teams really understand this very, very quickly.
Absolutely, and right now you can see how congested it gets. RQ now arriving the scene to try to challenge up ahead up against these members of 52 Esports. 52 hunkered down, and Nepeko instantly getting pummeled by Lamborghini on the opposite corner, and well, that's one member down very swiftly. Our RQ got to hold back for a slight bit because Ganyang is also getting tagged. And now it's nice. Lapar soaking all the brunt of the damage coming in from the Deathblade. And Kiddo's going to be able to just put one more point in to ensure at least 52 Esports gets a good start heading into this map.
Kiddo ate a lot of damage there, and the rest of 5-2 is just waiting in the wings, waiting for the right time to just really push out here. They don't want to give them these isolated fights. They don't want to give them 1v1s, but they take it too long. Lapar is already back in the game here. Ganyang waiting in the wings. This guy, this newcomer, has not only been huge in terms of eliminations, but also keeping the team intact. Lapar barely alive, but the other members of RRQ is close. They're rallying. So 5-2 in a stalemate for the time being. Kiddo barely alive, and he eats the full force of that Molotov. And for now, the circle just hard shifts here. It's not going to be easy for everyone who's outside the compound. They're stuck outside, and it's going to be even harder to get in, especially with the teams inside of the area. But everyone's fighting for a piece of that pie. Blind shots all around here. Manzi in the corner, somehow managing to find his way to Kiddo as the rest of his teammates take away that space to give them that space to play with as well. The corners cleared. Homeboys close as well as RQ slowly take an inch bit by bit, and 5-2 hunkered in the corner. One nade is all it needs to take them out.
And they have 3 members, and they're holding back for so long. And RQ, they capitalize all through the Death Blades, and just like that, crushes 5-2 Esports.
To get Molotoved out in the area. And now for E-Arena, they're not in trouble. NSD rushes forward. Kenboy, great opening into Sakura as well. Joker needs to be picked up. Kenboy, barely alive. NSD decides, you know what, we're not going to bait you, Sakura. Let's just try and rush forward to the rest of the team here. But the thing is, you can bring your teammates back. So his teammate just waiting for them to bleed out to death before finally bringing them back in the game. He's not going to try and contest them for that revive.
Yeah, they're just going for all-out trades at this moment. Into the terrain where you don't have any cities to book other than Danqing, and right now even more so for the side of D-Saber getting overwhelmed by Homeboy's Magna. Stuck in a pickle right now. Parajin tries to give them a little bit
What
more.
a need.
Definitely over onto the corner, clipping over Shamil. Levi still holding by his own as well. Another one hitting onto Kim. And now this is so doable for the rest of the Savior to turn the tides around. And Levi, all he's got to do right now is hunt for the final member, Shamil. What more can he do in this corner? He tries to get back, and he does get it in return.
Gotta give it to Meryl. He just held the line. But Parajin is also here to play. Spoiler, waits for him, marks the corner, waits for that wide swing. Parajin, both teams just lobbing nades, both going huge. I'm kind of expecting or hoping for a team to go a little bit more aggressive, and that'll be Team Secret. As Redface once again finds himself in the wings all alone here. But RQ somehow from another corner makes it hurt for the rest of Team Secret. 2 knocked out already. Tries to stabilize sides to find an angle to work with. But they can't really see as well. Those smokes are also a hindrance to themselves.
Yeah, it's so tough for them. I mean, they got caught in this crossfire where all the other teams were around this vicinity, and now they really have to huddle all together to go in for that reset. The rest of Team Secret have to deploy plenty of all these smokes in order to keep themselves alive. And particularly that, GK, he just take an instant peek, and he got caught out by the members of NSC from around the corner. Baseman now getting a little bit of crease to try to challenge up against those members of Team Secret. Alter Ego's the one that managed to clip out Chaco, and now here goes the full onslaught, calling in Cavalry, and Krypton is gonna cause them a whirl of hurt with this double push coming right through.
Takes a bit of chip damage here. Nice timing from Snape here just to really go a bit more aggressive. Has his teammate as the bait, and he just plays cleaning up house. I think we saw more of NST just holding out the lines, watching corners and, you know, watching flanks instead of going in full-blown fights regardless of the ability to revive.
Yeah, the western side, they're definitely in a very troublesome spot because they can't really afford to really move too far off from their position because of all these open terrains. Meanwhile, for those inside the city of Danqing, it's been a gridlock situation between Esports as well as Todak right now, trying to settle the scores, moving onwards up against another, but there's still the presence of the Saber that they have to worry about right across those corners. But right now, the citizens of Danqing, they got to move onto the outskirts instead to face up against Team Secret as well as Alter Ego eventually. So this actually gives the party back towards the side of RQ Ryu, who's been able to go for those revives. And now the tides have turned against the rest of Alter Ego, despite them actually securing a whole lot. I mean, there's just going to be a lot of all these back and forth trades going on. Octa now getting bombarded, and it's only down to Battery and Yummy.
Rushing forward here, trying to find a different way to approach this Mokta, and Ponbit downed. So firepower definitely not in their hands. Could do with just slowing down a tad bit. Let the other teams fight first. Oh, Mastery took a full...
It's just so difficult for them to actually go for the direct challenge right now. From the outskirts to the city, these teams are scrambling for those spaces, and Todak now back against the wall. They try to find a little bit of crease to hold up, but over onto the outskirts, we go back towards the side of Alter Ego, dominating on all their fights as they take out Todak of Malaysia for a 17-point elimination spree.
Crazy stuff. RQ. They started off really hot and they're still on a rampage. As Lobby knocked down already, the nades are huge. We're seeing a lot of nade eliminations today, just starting it hot. I think because of the terrain as well, a lot of players are starting to understand that they can really abuse the angles and corners. Nakey waiting in the back. Not too sure how he's going to approach this as well, since he's barely alive as well, limping. An alter ego, once they decide they have their grasp on you, they put in that pressure. It's hard to run away.
It's so difficult out there. I mean, alter ego areas right now got the full control of the space inside the zone that it makes it almost impossible for all these citizens of Danche to even step out because all these crosshairs are pointed towards that southeastern direction. The Saber, they find themselves taking down the rest of Boom Esports, and now it's only down to Deb. Can he find anything in return? Apparently not. That will be the last hustle coming in, and now down to 3 teams. The Pecco gets the trade done, takes out the Sabres member, and now it's only one left, and it's Nate T. 1 against 3. Is he going to make miracles happen right now? I'm afraid that won't be the case. The Blues is already approaching, and they got him all cornered up. Now the battle is between RRQ versus Alter Ego. El Clasico between the Indonesians to secure the first chicken dinner of the PMSL Southeast Asia.
Honestly, it's so rough. Alter Ego, they were waiting outside in the wings. They didn't have value. So the teams that are stuck in the compounds are now in trouble because the circle shifted away. Anyone peeks out, players like Krypton, like Moana, like Rosemary immediately spray them out. And that's a winner chicken dinner to start them off real hot right now. This team looks fire. Alter Ego, this is what they wanted. Which means it's going to be a lot less in terms of firepower, but they already have 14. And for the time being here, 52 now in trouble. Oh no, Frenzy, he has no mercy, completely runs over Kiddo. And the rest of Toda completely swarm the other members of 5-2. The rest of 5-2, last 2 men standing, you know what? Forget it. Leave them alone and try to survive till the end.
Wow, so proactive on their approach. Todak, they knew that the rest of 5-2
Malaysian teams cross each other fairly early. This time around, 7-9 keeps a close eye out on Homeboys. Spots his head. Ooh, nice dink onto him as well. Took a lot of damage, forced to move back. He cannot hold his position. Mika sharp as ever, even after his hiatus for I think quite a bit before coming back into the scene. Meryl low, they get completely just hounded, by the members of Sem9. They're doing a great job of cross-firing off each other as well, which means that it's basically a meat grinder for any member that's taking a little bit too much time to rotate in. And one more member fairly low, so if anything, Homeboys, they need to cut their losses if one of them did get knocked down. 2 already. Not a great start for this team making it this far into the game.
push the rest of One Donkey back.
He's so aware. Game sense is massive here. He's marked 2-3 different angles if you include the Homeboys who are hunkered down at the bottom side as well. Thinking it's so hard to rotate. And Sem9, they're not done. Anyone that crosses in trouble, as Potato will be the next one to fall. At the very least for Boyne, gets a bit of their own kills as well, so they're not going out without a fight or without any points for the time being. But Homeboys here stuck in those smokes, and Mika says, you know what, eat this nade. Adik Boy knocked down. Shamil's running for his life. No, I think Shamil's gonna try and recover him. Needs the firepower. Nah, not happening. Because that skill stolen away by Mormon. Playing ring around the Rosie here, and Mika gets chalked down to smithereens. Shamil's, at the very least, gets his revenge.
Wow, quite the outstanding play coming from Shamils to try to turn the tides around. And he saw this opportunity because the rest of Sem9, they kind of lead Mika all the way back because they were chasing onto Boyne Donkey, and now onto the other side of the map, it's going to be Lobby X and the rest of Exosphere striking down members of MXG as the Thai Titans are going up against each other. Big nades into the trenches. It is going to be a tough bunker for those members of MXG to hold out as they try to isolate KNS over onto the corner. He's just hugging by the corner of the tree.
No!
That nade dropping so close, but not quite enough to take him down.
Oh, I was so nervous. That nade just bounced toward him as well, but he's not gonna get out unscathed. The Sui Boy tries to isolate these fights, but the amount of bodies thrown at him, a bit much. Exosphere, we love this aggression and this style of play.
Yeah, it's pretty hard for them to really leave because there's also Alter Ego Ares holding them down on the other side of the shelter grounds and back towards the other corner of the map. We're looking at close proximity fights once more. We recommit into this fight between Boom as they be able to double down, finding Federalis, overstepping the boundaries into the smoke, and now BTR pretty much stuck right underneath that bunker, while the rest of the members of Toda have been able, and there's more to come.
Here comes the nades. Redface eats the full force of it. Rosemary, he does not miss. He's been incredible today with those nades, with the damage as well. still putting in pressure. Alter Ego waiting in the wings. They're a little bit more further out here, but they're so relaxed right now. They're just allowing all of these teams to fight each other. It's a three-way Indonesian derby just on the southern side, and it's not going to be easy. Each player definitely very, very skilled and very, very hard-hitting in terms of impact as well. Rosemary waiting in the wings. He was the MVP from that last map. Another nade thrown here. It's gonna be Krypton to dish in the damage, excuse me. But Mastery is there. They know exactly, have an idea where exactly the players of Alter Ego are hunkered down. But the matter is, where exactly are their hits? They cannot dink them. They cannot penetrate their skulls. They cannot dome them at all because the movement is making it so hard for them to track.
Yeah, it definitely was very difficult for them to actually land much, but Krypton has been able to connect with those grenades. We get an instant replay of what went down around the towers, where Team Secret, they go toe-to-toe up against these other players of FaZe Clan, and they've been able to convert those numbers. Meanwhile, back towards Alter Ego, Snake now hustling up against those members of Boom Esports that's been trying to seek refuge from that corner of the hill, but they could not even find much of those grounds. So now it's down to Yummy as well as Octa. They gotta cut their losses as Pondit has been knocked previously. So Alter Ego, they close right in, sending two members.
Not able to just stabilize, find a footing at all. Still in very dangerous waters. As for Team Secret, you have Loki in the corner here. Doki alone, and Ganyang close by as well.
Not the worst, but not the best either.
Man, you really gotta give it to Alter Ego, man. They're so good at map control and zoning. RQ, and they are keeping them at bay. Nades roll forward here. Yuhai moving back, but he walks straight into that nade. He gets knocked down. Firen stuck alone. Needs to bring his teammate back alive, but Yuhai cannot move. Do not cross at all. RQ definitely knows that Firen is close by as well. So all they can do right now is just keep pressuring. But they cannot afford to stay for quite so long because another team is pressuring them in exchange. It's going to be Void, who's also keeps an eye out on Firen as well. Void, Alter Ego crossing by as well. In trouble. Alter Ego just completely swarming from every single corner. Stole away a kill. Krypton falls. Snape trades. Moana drops down Ganyang as well. And the rest of the team, both teams now in trouble. Alter Ego crippled, one player knocked down. Shouldn't be too much of a problem to bring one teammate back into the game as well, as Irina hears everything in the wings and puts in the damage of their own.
They tunnel vision onto Firen, and that was their own demise. By doing so, Alter Ego right from the back, and they were not ready to really pick them on. And just like that, Alter Ego Aries take charge of this fight, and now once again secures a top 3 finish. Point Donkey, we talked about them needing to find their winning ways. They now have a solid chance as they will dwindle down the numbers of Alter Ego Aries. Only one left right now. And we're looking at a 3v1. They can find and pick off up against Rosemary.
Irina, so much control of this southern side here. They have a compound to work with as well, some terrains. And Alter Ego, just in the wings, one player left is just Rosemary. Forced to be a little bit more quiet here as Void pressuring on the members of E-Arena. One member knocked down while he's barely breathing. Shouldn't be a problem to get that reset in. But I'm quite surprised at Rosemary's approach here. I would have thought, okay, you're all alone. You don't really have space in that zone. Be a bit more quiet. But no, he's still rallying. This guy has no fear.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised myself as well because he is kind of pitted up against a stack of tree on each side, but he's really causing a lot of pain towards those members of E-Arena, and now with a lot of attention being drawn to him, he still finds it up against Sakura into the smoke, and he confirms it up against Mormon as well. This map lad, he's absolutely insane, and he's about to just rip out E-Arena apart.
That is crazy. He's saying, okay, I may be the last man standing here. I may not get a chicken dinner, but, you know, cut all losses. Just try my best. Still stealing away another point in the pocket, making E-Arena bleed on top of that as well. And now the blue zone shifts, and he's on that buggy. He's all the way rushing into a corner here. He has to be careful because he's going to be sandwiched between Void as well as E-Arena here. Managing to stay away here, uses the side of the vehicles, and as everyone tunnels toward him, you guys start to see it. Void Donkey, as well as the other teams, start to rally back, and he is trying to play this battle of alliances. One team gets distracted, he strikes in. He He tries to be the distraction. Team settle on him. He lets the other team put in that damage. He's hoping for situations he's able to just go against a 1v2 or a 1v1 because each team can dwindle down the numbers. But Void Donkey has not allowed that to happen because of the advantages they have.
It's Joker who's getting focused on. Where he's at, overcooked the first nade, looking for a second, and he's got the rest of these other members to really wrap it all around. So it's just a matter of moments for Void Donkey to celebrate with a win, unless if there's just going to be a tag team between Rosemary as well as Joker to take on the members of Void Donkey.
Oh.
Last stand coming for Joker, not quite enough. Razak secures it with the grenade, and now it's down to formalities. But can Rosemary clutch a 1v3? It's still possible. Well, I want to see how this plays out.
He can't get these isolated fights, but I think Void Donkey does not want to give it to him. The best approach, just wait for the smokes to dissipate and just push forward. Maybe swing as a 3, perhaps. There's a lot of respect given to him. Oh, he saw that Michael Pixel angle. It's perfectly done. Now it's a 2v1. We have Zeta and Voxy very, very far apart. Rosemary can easily isolate these fights by using the tree line as well. He's hoping that someone will peek through. He's managed to juke every single utility thrown at him. It slowly makes his way forward. If they don't see him prone forward, it could mean double trouble for him. A lot of that damage as well. Zeta probably knows that the damage has been done. Throws another nade, and that is enough. Zeta done his job. And a lot of respect given to not isolating this fight, not allowing him to have these 1v1s. And Void Donkey secure a winner with a chicken dinner on map 2. Stuff coming from him here. As Homeboys once again find themselves toe-to-toe with Sem9. They weren't able to win against them earlier, at the very least. This time around, Yuhai so low already, barely alive. The nade barely passes him. He's going to try to take a little bit more of a proactive angle. As one of the members for Sem9 knocked down already, has to be recovered. Nah. Hard to do so. Hard to get close when the rest of Homeboys are just pressuring them all together. And Sem9 said, you know what, does it really matter? Let's just take this fight on, head on as well. Mika takes a lot of damage, but is he doubling down? Yes, he is. Throws on that nade. Fortunately for him, goes a bit more wide. And he hasn't even recovered yet. He didn't even go for a reset. Instead, he's prioritizing putting in that nade, putting in the damage first. A bit too high up, but enough to put Meryl in a bit more of a chip damage situation. As Meryl keeps his head low, knows where one member of Sem9 is. A bit more far out, is making it rain nades from above as well. The blue zone is not making it easy for both these teams to stay alive as well. Mika is still not alive, but Kim on the outside area finds him in the end, knocks him down. One player knocked down and second to follow. Homeboys this time around, they want to stand tall against their counterparts from Malaysia. And Firan running for his life, barely alive. He's in the corner trying to keep his team still very much in the game, but hard to do so as well. As Homeboys, that nade hits him. Shamil alone. Kim has to keep his team alive, has to stay at all. Breaks the door. Firan cooking up that nade. The timing is good. He lobs it down forward. No, he's still making it count all the way till the end. Kim barely alive, and Kim will be the one to close out that fight by the skin of his teeth.
Easy claim into this character.
Rosemary knocked out already. The rest of Alter Ego rallying to bring him back into the game, but DX is not going to allow that to happen. Your nade T going to cook that nade to perfection. Oh my god, Krypton, that was ballsy attack. He rushed forward past that nade, shot him in the face, got 2 knocks to his name here. Parajit alone tries to isolate this fight. Krypton, no, the smoke should keep the rest at bay here. Forced to move up to that second floor, and he's going to try to get some advantage here to anyone crossing up forward as a 2. Got 1 knock already. The other member of Alter Ego forced to move down. Krypton decides to just wait and go for that reset instead. Stay in the wings, going to cross forward here. Parajin has a lot of information. You can see from the angle he's holding. Levi also close down as well, as Alter Ego will suffer. Both of them bleeding to death, and Alter Ego with only 1.
After another, and we're about to get a little bit more long-range nades into the shack where the arena is hoping to find a little bit more of that space inside the garage, challenging the likes of BTR, but Joker, he could not really get the perfect glimpse. But now, for a tag team tandem, they're trying to go for the full swing. Zuxia Barrage over the back, and E-Arena, they're in shambles right now. Running low, Zuxi has got to do it all by himself right now, and the Blue Zone's closing in, and he shuts them down! BTR, they find them all! That, but yeah, speaking of number 5, E-Arena on number 5 right now. And they're also looking to traverse just by the corner of the map. They're getting shot at. From who exactly? Rosemary on the other side of the map takes down a member of Team Secret with some beautiful headshots. Well, it's going to be Void Donkey that they're rocking up against. Potato all alone this time around. Let's see what this tag team can do. Whether if they could pick off that member of Void Donkey.
Potato could just really leave. He doesn't have to really put in that pressure. But I think Potato has bought a lot of time for the rotations to come through from Zeta as well as Consulate as well. Potato barely breathing, barely alive right now. But the cavalry is here. Potato falls, burned to a crisp. And I'm not too sure if his team is going to be able to come even close to pick him up here. Sakura rushes up looking to just secure that kill. Potato, if he puts his head outside, he will die. Nah, he'll fall to that Molly as well. As the rest of E Arena, they're looking to collapse. This is one of the rare moments where Void is struggling. There's a bit of a lull here. You're hearing those pre-fires come through, and Voxy cannot hold, as Sakura does what he does best, which is just rushing to faces, shooting them out, and just completely demolishing. Zeta running away with his life. Last man standing here. What a change of pace and how the turntables.
Tricky to even navigate around all these terrains. Speaking of navigating, they found themselves bunched up over on the construction side, and it's gonna be Homeboys arriving hot into Murky Lands up against the rest of Boom Esports.
Nade goes a bit more wide, but still a chip damage is done. Boom Esports displaced right now. As the rest of Homeboys just looking to double down on that damage. Ponbit not barely alive. Yummy eats the full force of that as well. Keem takes a bit of damage here. But to say that Homeboys is showing a lot more aggression. Regardless, as we look at FaZe, they have a nice high ground to work with as well. If anyone were to rotate out MX, teams like MXG could be in so much trouble, as teams like BTR are still on the hunt here. Zuxi playing a very, very rat angle. If, say, one person, even swings, they're basically dead. There we go. The shots come out. Oh, just barely quick enough to rotate as well. A long range to go forward here, but Zuxi, he got baited. Shot in the face as well. And the rest of BTR are just looking to waterfall into the area. Didn't happen. They couldn't quite land those most crucial shots. As Redface looking to bring Vexy back into the game, he can't. NST rallying back. You call the ambulance, but not for me, man.
Not for him, indeed. And this is going to be King Modic going in for a full push. Challenging up against Redface, who's been in EVOS and multiple iterations of teams. He's got the experience, but can he handle the heat right now? As 12K connecting another bullet towards the feet of Redface. Tries to deny the space. He's got some angles with the Deflates to also return the favor as well. King Modic is really showing us some really nifty moves despite him not securing the point onto Razy just yet. And now, I wonder if there's going to be any form of arrival coming from Irene. We see them on the edge of the screen. This 1v1 is taking forever, and Exosphere also wants a piece of the pie as well if this is going to last for another minute or so.
Here definitely hears the footsteps as well. He's trying to really bait them to come close. But they're not biting it. They're just trying to see whether or not they can bring their teammates safely back into the game. They need Ryzy so badly. And for NST, this is the chance for him to just really drop down, get a 2. No, it took too long. Ryzy's back already as well. No hit spotted quite yet. Couldn't really see. So what are you going to do here, King Modic here? Ryzy puts in the damage. He's half HP here. A double swing could be huge right now. Oh man, Redface. Just a tiny angle, he's able to just really abuse that. As Alter Ego, they've managed to really isolate the members of Homeboys. They cannot swing off one another.
Yeah, it's very difficult. And here comes the flag! Oh, quickly! Denied by Snape. He goes in for a 180 wrap and still gets the job done. A beautiful play by Snape to really salvage this member that was knocked down. This could be Krypton as well as Snape rocking up to Limboy, and he's being isolated inside of that tiny little room. There's barely any space.
For their lives into that circle. This terrain is so hard to deal with. And now Chaco's in trouble. Rushes out, eats the full force of the nade. And his teammate, his killer, is not going to be able to get out of that scot-free either. Quick trades all around. Chaco can still be recovered. And just like that, MXG find themselves the team that is in trouble. They lose 2 just in that scuffle.
Yeah, and take a look at that. Lapar's also getting involved, taking onto Earths. So they are not exactly in the clear, dealing with both MXG as well as the rival of another team over on the outskirts. And look at that. Manzi also arriving to the scene just by the far eastern end of the map. So this could be a mix-up between a fatal four-way.
Oh my
right now,
God.
another dive into the field, and it's Bala that crashes out. A great save coming from FaZe Clan to be able to stay afloat for the meantime, while Herbs have been dealing with this pressure coming from RRQ, and he managed to pin them down. FaZe Clan, they look for the perfect 7.
In DX's favor and the right front to FaZe Clan. I think they decided to choose the lesser of two evils. They're going to go against the Xavier here, which I think is just as hard. And the fights are still going here. The Indonesian team is once again still meeting up with one another here as Krypton will fall as well. Snape tries to at least rally back, steal away a kill, and he does. Gets the secure kill as well. Risey in the back, a little bit faster on the swings. A lot of eliminations coming in from Alter Ego. It's a 10, despite the fact that they're knocked out early as well. So BTR will be able to take the bragging rights for this round as FaZe looking to sandwich this team. E-Arena, you're sandwich. What to do here? You take the fight against D Xavier? Nah. FaZe will come and join in as well.
Of all these teams charging towards the direction, and that might just be Boing Donkey moving into that fight down south. Meanwhile, 52 versus Todak. Tom calling the shots right now. They're trying to deny the access by dropping in some Molotovs just to buy a little bit of time, and Nine just runs right to it.
Helton's gonna rush forward. Does he know that 9 is close? Is that question. If you're not checking your corners, it could be dangerous. But Barry Khan is close. Throws that nade, zones a bit of space for himself, but he's so displaced from the rest of his teammates. Also keeping a close eye on the members of BTR that want to rush in and steal away these kills.
So much happening right here in this warehouse. This is the only form of reprieve that they actually get as a shelter for the meantime. But they're just pretty much getting themselves all the tight angles. Can't afford to really go for that deep swing at this very point in time.
The only thing separating them is that wall, isn't it?
A flurry of assaults coming in from all the other teams, but they're getting preoccupied with 7-9 being taken on by the rest of Exosphere. That flate's now being thrown right at them. Mika blindsided with the smoke, and he finds the catch!
My God, Mika. That is disgusting. Walks up and just sprays in the face. Traxi barely alive right now, but he's gonna rally back. The car runs over Fearin as well. Long range hits, and Toda says, surprise! We were here all along. Steals away 1. And Toda does eliminate 7-9, waiting in the wings. And Toda, their calls have been phenomenal this game. From, vacating that warehouse to going out in the open and taking these wide open fights. They are just swarming onto the members of Exosphere as well. They third party these two teams that were on these prolonged fights.
Plenty of open areas that they can absolutely abuse from. They've already know who's inside the shack, so they just will have to take this fight up against Perogen. But 2 members, they quickly get denied by Nate's beautiful angles, and Tam, he's barely surviving. Perogen looking for the angle for the grenade toss and almost clips out the final member of Toda. But he has enough room right behind that tiny little tree. He's trying to recover some health bars, but can he clutch it up against these 2 members rallying forward? EX confirming those numbers quickly as the tides turn. Toda now being pinched into an unfavorable position, but there's still Frantisi all the way up there, so Tom isn't fully alone. He's just waiting for the right opportunity for Frantisi to give him a little bit of that backup, but here comes a 3-man swing from the EX.
I don't know if this is the right weapon for him to put in that damage as well, not from this angle. He's alone. I'm pretty sure the member of the Xavier is so aware of where he is! Levi's silent as ever. 4th place. One of the best ends they've had so far today. But still, the day's not over. And Indonesia not in the top 4 means the streak has ended.
I was about to point that out, and it could either be a win for Vietnam, Thailand, or Malaysia. 52 Esports, this is their best one by far. Perogen! Oh, he spots out Manzi! Firepower since FaZe Clan still has 4 members intact.
5-2, it's not gonna be easy. They're all the way to the side of that circle. Helton already found out as well. So Berryhan, what is your game? FaZe Clan finally rising up there with 10 eliminations to end the day. There we go, eliminated already. Make that 11. Looking just really end it as well. Chopper QQ takes the full force of that nade, and now these Xavier are looking to just challenge. Swinging up and down together as a team, dwindling down the HP of the members of FaZe. They took down 2. I'm not sure they are aware where Earth is. I think they do. They're moving all the way to the corners right now. And they're going to pick out 1 by 1. trying to find together. Nice shot to the face here by Canary. Parajin as well will fall. Nate barely alive. 1v2, tries to go for the isolation, but not happening. Too many bodies, and it's gonna be Thai team. Faceland rise up to get the last chicken dinner of the day.
As well, Team Secret unfortunately was taken out rather early on, and now we get the full update. Alter Ego remains at the top.
In Thailand, especially has been known as one of the strongest teams, right, as well. Now, 5-2 has managed to end the day with 9 points.